Hello there. Buenos dias. Me llamo Scotty. Welcome to back to March of the Living Dead 3. Yes, and we are talking about Wreck from 2007, the Spanish film. 2007, I watched in Spanish. Because there's no English dubs of these movies. I actually tried to watch this a year or so ago on Tubi, and I couldn't get into it because of the language. But after watching the Coffin Joe movie, I watched it on this TV that's in front of me. So, because that's my problem, is I have to read subtitles. If it's on that TV, I'm not going to be able to see it. So I got to watch it here. Or on my phone, which I plan on doing because I want to play video games too. So, yes. Wreck tells the story of a news reporter named Angela Vidal and her cameraman Pablo, who are following this firefighting crew when they're called to an apartment building in Barcelona. And then things just get nuts. Now, an outbreak happens. There's zombie peoples. Yes, this is brought to us by co-directors, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Jaume Balaguero and Paco Plaza, who will be somewhat involved in all 4 films in this franchise. Like I said, I tried watching this before. I have, however, seen and reviewed the remake, Quarantine, which is on the docket for a redo for Lost in Translation. This is actually going to be one that I can actually, talk about the original, because I've seen the original now. And yeah, this is basically the same thing as Quarantine. Quarantine is shot for shot with a few things changed, but that was like a weird mutated rabies. This goes more into dark occult type stuff. Yes, and so so this was interesting to watch, language barrier and everything. When I found myself, I found it easy to get through. This movie is only 78 minutes. That's not long. That's, an hour and 18 minutes. That's not long at all. Budget was $2 million, and it made $32.5 million. So that's, that's why we got sequels, which I will cover. Wreck 2, which continues the found footage format and is directed by both gentlemen that I mentioned. Wreck 3, who is only directed by one of them, Wreck 3 Genesis, which ditches the found footage format and is only directed by one of the directors. And then Wreck 4 Apocalypse, which is directed by the other director and also drops the found footage format. And then I mentioned Remake, which takes the found footage format, and that got a sequel in Quarantine 2, which is not a remake of any of the other sequels, but it drops the found footage format and is about a group of people at an airport, which I swear I watched, but I haven't reviewed it for some reason. I swear I watched it. I don't know. Before I start, my nose, I'm fine before I start, and I just So we meet television reporter Angela Vidal, who is played by Manuela Velasco, is like one of the only known people in this, because there's 3 people whose names are lit up. There's also Javier Botet, he's in this. This used unknown actors. Unlike Quarantine, which we used a bunch of known actors. They weren't well known, or maybe Jennifer Carpenter, but still. Yeah. Angela and her cameraman Pablo, played by the film's actual DP, Pablo Rosso. Pablo Red. Are filming a night shift at the Barcelona fire station, for the program while you were sleeping. Yes, and they meet two firefighters, Alex and Manu, uh, there. And, you kind of see things, they are. I like how she's sneaking around. She's like, they're sleeping right now, but the alarm could go off anytime and wake them up. And there's some dude walking in his underwear, and they're like, oh. And there's like just moments of them talking where like she's standing at one area and her hair's not flipping right, so they gotta flip it from the other side. And at one point she says to sound the alarm, and she has to kind of reshoot that so she can say siren. All kind of those sort of things that you would get. But this leads into an apartment building, and it's weird because it's like the fire station, the fire department was called for was a missing woman or a woman is behaving erratically. Why weren't the policia called? Why the fire department? You could fix it by writing it that they're actually recording for police, because police are also up at night at police stations. The last shift does a good job of that. No? No, it's the fire department. So, yeah. They get there, and there are several times where someone says, shut the fucking camera off, shut it off, shut it off. And then she would just go, no, keep filming, Pablo, keep filming, keep filming. And there is, it's one of those things where you have to have her look right at the camera and go, whatever you do, keep filming this, But also there's a point where the people there, they're being mistreated by authorities. So now she wants to keep filming so she has proof of how bad these people are being treated. So, yeah. They make it upstairs to this woman whose name is, it just says, I believe her name is Conchita. This woman, the elderly woman who is Conchita, she's behaving strangely in the apartment. They look at her, she's all covered in blood, and she attacks one of the police officers and bites him. And so as they run back downstairs to try to leave, authorities are sealing the building. You can't come out, you can't leave. I do feel like this works better than the American version when it's the CDC closing down things. Here it's just, we're not going to let you out. Nope. Because it's not, of course they would fear that it's some sort of disease. And we do find out later this because there's a little situation. But there's a truck there. There is like a little garage thing. What is it called? I don't know, that they have, that they can't get into right now, but they do. And so she starts to like interview the people that are there. There's this woman, Marie Carmen, and her little daughter. And the daughter talks about how the doggy is sick. So the doggy's not there. And her woman's husband is also not there because she had to take the dog somewhere, I think, or he's just at work or something. I don't know. I believe he is prominent in the sequel. But, yeah. It says here that it resembles rabies. It may have originated from the dog from the building, because the dog was taken in. But it's not. I don't know. They try to go through the back way, through that little workshop thing, and that's blocked off. There's a point where they go upstairs, and that's getting blocked off. Yeah, they can't go anywhere. And you have, there's one point where she interviews this elderly couple who goes bickering back and forth, and then we just never see them after this scene. There's one guy who, I like how Dead Meat explained him, Spanish Sherman Hemsley, who tries to explain stuff. I believe his name is Caesar, but Spanish Sherman Hemsley here tries to explain certain things. They find out as that one dude, well, is it Alex gets thrown off of the uh, the stairwell, falling all the way down, and there's behind the scenes footage where they missed throwing the dummy. Yeah, Alex is now dead. I think he's dead, or he's just hurt, but you assume dead, I guess. Uh, and then there's eventually, like the doctor that's there, he gets bit. They try to do some things, and it turns out that once they figure out the dog is infected, the little girl who's supposedly had tonsillitis, she just freaks out, spitting blood on her mom, and then freaking out. Yeah, she's not good, not at all. No, but yeah. Then Spanish Sherman Hemsley tells them of the guy who lived in a penthouse who was never there. So they're going to check that out. And they discover religious material and evidence of an investigation before this. A tape recording shows them that penthouse occupant who was acting on behalf of the Vatican had been studying a sick Portuguese girl named Tristana Medeiros, who was played by Javier Botet. Who I know is a man, but he's playing women, so tradition was believed to be linked to demonic possession. The illness mutated into a contagious infection. So I'm assuming she was bit by the dog, and the dog licked the girl, and that started the infection or something. And she was sealed inside. Yeah. And they're like, we get the scene. Where, like, Angela at this point has gone through so much shit. Manu gets killed, and she's just, like, what do I do now? What do I do? And that just, like, she's done with this. She's like, hey, she's lost. She's bye-bye, Egon. You know? Yeah. The light gets on the camera, gets smashed, so it's dark, so they switch to night vision, which, night vision. We get this now. So they go through, you see Tristana just sort of skulking around, and then she attacks and kills Pablo, and leaves Angela left all alone before she finds the camera, and then is dragged away in one of the most famous scenes that was recreated for this, and used in the trailer, by the way, and used as a cover for this. Yeah. It's funny how they have that on the front and the back, but it's only a small part of both films. Quite possibly the best horror film this year. I think this one's better. I think in the beginning of this, it feels more genuine. Right? It feels more genuine, like this is actually some, like, footage they found, footage that they were shooting. Where this one feels like they're just trying to recreate stuff. And it's like, oh, they did this stuff in that one, so we're going to do it here. And it's just sort of recreating it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and they go way further with the rabies in this version than this version. But, yeah. And I do want to say it is a bit difficult for me because I don't speak Spanish. For me to follow along, but that's why I watch on here or watch on my phone. It's closer to me, it's easier for me to follow. And I'm going to do the sequels, stick with it. I'll give this a pretty good. I liked it. I once wanted to get the Scream Factory box set, the Blu-ray set. But I'm like, if I get it, I'm going to have to do these movies. And they're in Spanish, and I don't know. But now I can just buy them, and they can sit on the shelf like the rest of the stuff I get that I've already reviewed. But I'm a collector, so, There's also the It's Alive trilogy that I've to get as well. Somehow the remake is not on there. I don't know why. But yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Wreck? which by the way is short for record, but do they call it rec or do they call it record? I think it's just rec, right? And no help so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.